Hey, you guys, welcome back. Stella's Knife Obsession. I am Stella. If you don't recognize my voice, yeah, it's me, Stella. Um, and today I would like to talk about the Slayback XL by Monterey Bay Knives. I, I was loaned this knife from a good pal of mine, Android Goat, aka Matt, and he he has trusted me with such beautiful art that he gets, and just I don't know how expensive all of it is, but I'm sure that with these littler knife companies, like smaller knife companies such as MBK, I'm sure it's a pretty penny, you know. So I really appreciate the trust that a lot of you out there give me, and I really, really love the support that you guys have for me. You have so much support. You're helping me so much in this community. I can't imagine being part of a different community and having and it being anywhere near this type of community. The knife community is I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love this knife. I love this community. Um, but yeah, this one has this really wicked Warncliffe style blade. It's got a straight, it touches straight. Let's see. There's no belly. Let me try to just put it into words like that instead. Um, yeah, it's just a gorgeous. This thing is so versatile as far as the way the blade can be used and how many applications it can be used in. The handle is incredibly comfortable, has a little bit of what reminds me of a swayback. Well, they call it the slayback, which I think is an awesome play on words because, man, does this thing slay, as they say. Nowadays, oh my God, this thing is just, I love the fact that what they do is they wrap one steel in another steel so that you get the maximum life out of the blade without sacrificing a lot of integrity of the blade itself. So it's really easy to sharpen. Not that I sharpened it, because I don't do that to other people's knives, but I'm pretty positive this would be incredibly easy to sharpen. But then as you get your life out of it, which it has a pretty good plunge grind, sharpening choil type thing going on there. So you're going to get a decent amount of knife out of it. I mean, life. And the thing is just, I don't know, such a practical shape. I mean, there's really not much to say other than this thing rocks. It's just the Ray Laconico. That's all I really have to say. Ray Laconico. There you have it. Amazing designer. He did so well designing this knife for MBK. If I was MBK, I, you could bet all your chips on this knife. I think if you are just a tiny little company and you're trying to come up, you could. Oh, if the old guard, the mini old guard, and this knife, those two knives alone, they could bet all their chips on because I think tons of people already love these knives. But then you have, if you did have such a limited uh, market for the consumer, I think you could survive on those two knives alone. I know they have the regular size old guard, which is phenomenal, and they have my Carta version that I want so bad. I was just checking them out the other day, and they don't have very much, but what they do have is such good quality, and you can tell every bit of their blood, sweat, and tears went into their models. They're just, you could tell. I mean, the action speaks for itself. It's incredible. And then getting designers such as Ray Laconico on one of your knives, or I'm not sure how many of them, but it just won. That right there, that's got to tell you something. If Ray Laconico is on board with these guys, then they're not going to have a problem selling knives because they're beautiful, and then they have that flavor, that Ray Laconico flavor on top of it. So it's just yummy. It's so good. So let me get something just for a little comparison because I don't really like doing comparisons, but I'll do it anyway. Just, I'll be right back. All right, since I brought it up, I figured I'd just grab the mini Old Bay. This is this is gonna pain me to let go. Here, let's put them tip to tip. There's that. So the mini Old Bay and the regular size Old Bay is, I think, just about the same size, if not a little shorter. But don't quote me on that because I've never had one in my hands. Here's the Assassin by Kaiser, if that tells you anything at all, for those people out there that have Assassins. And let's see, since I did the Feist the other day, front flipper, beautiful design. Let's see, this one's a Lundquist design. Tip to tip, tiny, tiny compared to that old or this XL here. And then one more, and let's go with the mini banter. The little tiny banter. All right, let's see. Goodness gracious, even the Feist dwarfs the banter. It's awesome. Love that little knife though. So there you go. I mean, it goes to show you, at least I'm hoping you can get an idea for what size it is, for the size that it is. Let's see. And now, why not just use a tape measure, since, you know, I know that there's not, people out there don't have every single knife that all of us have to offer, so let us just measure from tip to butt, tip to butt. So we're looking at 8 1/4. Looks like. Let's see. A little more than 8 1/4. Yeah, a little more than 8 1/4. So then the blade length, we're looking at 3 1/2 total. The cutting edge, though, is, oh, let's see here. If I could, almost just under, 3 1/2. So you have a really good normal size knife here. It's not, it's an extra large because it's much larger than the original, but it's not humongous. Like, it's no Cold Steel Luzon. I'll say that. But it's definitely a handful, and it feels like such a good size. I definitely recommend the Old Bay and the XL and the small. Like, I don't think you could go wrong with either one. So the slayback. I mean, if you go for names alone, like like I do, the slayback is the coolest name there can be. I swear, I love it because it's like a combination of today's world with a beautiful knife maker's knife. So I love it, love it, love it. Especially this guy runs on washers, and you would never. It's so incredibly smooth. It just, I mean, it's, I don't know what kind of washers they use. Well, they're bronze, but I mean, I did disassemble this, just disassemble. But this is definitely a prize. Oh, and look how slender that carry is. What a slender carry. My goodness. It's like just enough room for the blade to fall into. Incredible. Even the mini old guard, I kept calling it Old Bay because of a seasoning that I like to use a lot. Look at that. The old guard has it by, I don't know how much. Let's see. I don't know if I'll get a real accurate measurement because I don't have calipers, but you know. So this is like a quarter of an inch wide, uh, in thickness, and in health. And then you have the old guard is just a smidge more, but I mean it's not that much wider. It feels that much wider because it fills the hand so well, for such a small knife. And I mean it's not that tiny either. See, it's about the same size as the assassin for the most part. Larger than the Feist and definitely larger than the Banter. So yeah, I just wanted to go over these guys because I got to send these back, unfortunately. And it looks to me like I shot this whole thing in portrait mode. I apologize ahead for that. Sorry, you guys. I hope you make it to the end, though, and I'll see you soon.